Welcome everyone to a celebration of youth leadership, insight, and community impact. My name is Lisa Bent, and I'm Executive Director of the Multnomah Athletic Foundation. And it is my absolute great pleasure to welcome each and every one of you and turn this presentation over to an amazing group of young people. But before I do that, I want to share with you a couple reasons of why we at the Multnomah Athletic Foundation are so proud to be able to sponsor this particular experience. See, we believe that youth have a distinct and a necessary voice in the community and that their involvement really makes a significant difference. But we also know that we need to be able to create space at the table for decision making, that we need to be able to give them the reins and to be able to take funding and make a decision and come to a really great decision based on their opinions and their insight of how other youth can be served best in our community. So this is really about, with the foundation, increasing access to participation, because we believe that in doing that, it fuels an amazing amount of possibilities. So you are going to hear from the 2021 cohort of the Youth Grant Initiative. I will be back at the end of the presentation to tell you a little bit more about the foundation and how you can support this effort in the future. But what I'd like to do at this point, with no further ado, is turn the evening over to our 2021 cohort and our moderator for the night, Maya.
Hi, thank you, Lisa. My name is Maya Mackey-Nadler. I am an 8th grader at Portland Jewish Academy. And before we hear from everyone else, I'm just going to first go into a little bit about what YGI is and what we have done to get here today. So YGI stands for the Youth Grant Initiative, and what we've been doing is looking over different grants and how to assess them and eventually assessing them and learning all about nonprofits and everything in between. And so what we've done is we first looked over 11 different applications, and we chose the nonprofits that really think that would fit best for this year. And all of them were so great, and I know we all had a really hard time making a decision, but finally we came to that. And I think that this experience has been really great, and I've met so many new people. There are 13 people this year from 11 different schools, 7th and 8th graders, all over the Portland metro area. And we came together through a small selection process, and we've had such great conversations. I loved hearing everyone's different points of view, and it really changed my opinion on which nonprofits I think would have been best, and I'm really happy with the ones that we did choose. So first off, we're going to be hearing from Amani and Peyton, talking about all the skills and facts that they've learned and what we've learned through these past few months that we've spent together.
Hi, thank you, Maya. My name's Peyton Wyatt. I'm from Selwood Middle. I can't express how honored I am to be part of such a passionate group of people. We have learned and grown so much. And I will use these skills I've learned throughout my whole life. Some of our main focuses were communication, listening, and compromise. I have learned that not to only use my voice and advocate for what I'm passionate about, but also how to listen to others and let people share their ideas. After all, we're all human, and sharing our ideas is the best way to make informed decisions. Listening isn't common in our society. Everyone is constantly trying to prove that they are right and tell people what to think. I didn't realize how much I was missing out on until I started truly listening. During the YGI process, we focused on listening. We tried to give people 2 minutes of uninterrupted time whenever they wanted to share. It was one of the most difficult things I've ever done. Breaking the urge to immediately give input and interrupt was essential to making a good decision and working effectively. We learned to use the power of body language instead of communication. Because we're all different people with unique ideas and different thought processes, we have divisions and groups at some points. But with our newfound listening skills, we were able to share ideas and make compromises. We learn from each other by listening to differing opinions and making compromises. It's hard when you feel passionate about things and we have to make decisions because we could get defensive. Instead, YGI taught us to share negatives and positives when sharing about applications. Personally, it was hard for me not to get pulled in by the hearts of organizations. I looked into mission statements and looked into the positive things that nonprofits did for communities. but other people love to look at numbers. The balance of this really helped us to make a decision. I learned that leadership can come in many forms. Sometimes you don't have to be the most vocal person. You just have to have passion and a drive to help others. Helping the community doesn't have to be money and objects. Sometimes teaching people how to thrive independently can be even more beneficial. Thank you.
Thank you, Peyton. Hello, my name is Imani Lubrano. I'm in 8th grade and from St. Clair Catholic School. Throughout this experience, I learned how to be a philanthropist by using my time, talents, and treasures to help others and benefit communities. I learned how the 3 sectors of our community work together to help create the society we have today. One of those sectors includes nonprofits. Going into this journey, I didn't know a lot about nonprofits, but now I know that nonprofits' primary purpose is to achieve a public mission. They're governed by a board of directors who represent the community, and they're financially supported by charitable contributions and fees for service. While reading through these applications, I got to see how vulnerable these nonprofits were with how they were struggling. This really opened my eyes to all the nonprofits struggling with COVID for the past 2 years and how important nonprofits are in times like these, especially with lower income communities, communities of color, and other diverse communities seeking help. I'm now aware of how important it is to have help out nonprofits to create a better community with the people around you. Back to Maya.
Thanks, Peyton and Imani. Next, we are going to be hearing from Brady and Campbell talking about the head and the heart, which is something that we really focused on.
Thanks, Maya. Hi, I'm Campbell, and I'm a 7th grader at International Middle School.
And hi, I'm Brady. I'm an 8th grader at All Saints School.
And we're going to be talking about the head and the heart. Part of what we're taught as members of the Youth Grant Initiative is to think with both our heads and our hearts. Both are very important parts of the decision making. And when it's both an important decision, so you have to think with your head, and an emotional decision, the best decision you can. It always seems impossible until it's done. Nelson Mandela. So this quote seems dry, but think about it a little more. What are challenges you've faced in your life? Think about how those challenges made you feel when they were at their worst. It felt like getting through them was impossible, but then you found a way out. Think about the emotions that triggered. Feel those emotions. And that's your heart. And that's the very same reason why we do charity. The heart's the emotional side of the decision. The heart makes you lean towards the things that you can relate to most. It makes you tear up or laugh, the things you've done before or have a connection to. And that's important. Your head is a big part of the decision, but logic is part of it too. You need to think about it. And with that, Brady, let's go to you for the head.
Thank you, Campbell. And the head is a rational part of decision. That's the part that makes you lean towards the most productive organization, even if you have no connection to it or don't know what it stands for. The head is what the information you need to make an informed decision. I did the same quote. It always seems impossible until it's done. Nelson Mandela. And the quote speaks to my head. The quote speaks to my head by convincing me to do something and try it even if I think it's hard or I can't do it. And this quote speaks to my heart. The quote speaks to my heart because I did a 3K in cross country 3 times. I didn't think I could have done it. However, this quote motivates me that I could do it. And back to you, Maya.
Thank you so much. Next, we are going to be hearing from Adrian, Anna, and Ronan talking about the decision-making process, which I know is hard for some of us.
Hello, my name is Adrian, and I go to the Gilkey International Middle School, and I'm in 8th grade. So one key part in this experiment is the thought process, meaning the opinions, ideas, feedback, etc. of everybody in the cohort. One part of our thought process was the research along with looking at everybody's different perspectives. This was a very important part, as without the research done, it would have been hard to come to very fair conclusions. And And without each individual's perspective, we would have not been able to make the best decisions on which organization or organizations deserve the grant, as one person can have a completely different and maybe a biased opinion towards a certain group. In the final stages of selecting an organization, we gathered everybody's top 4 and bottom 4 choices and discussed. During this meeting, we made sure to hear everybody's voice and perspective. We went one by one talking about each organization, hearing from people who chose the specific one in their bottom or top few. Lastly, we used the fist of 5 to make sure everybody was at least okay with moving forward, which will be explained by Ronan in more detail later on.
Hi, my name is Ronan. I'm a 7th grader at Catlin Gable. We did many decision-making strategies to get different perspectives, voices, and overall just change our ways of looking at them. One of the decision-making strategies we did was the fist of 5. We'd use the fist of 5 to see what everyone thought about each nonprofit. If someone put a 0 or like a strike, that would mean that they would not go on with it because it did not line up with the core values of the YGI. If someone put a 5, this means that it lined up perfectly and it made great sense. The fist of 5 was a great way of not only getting to a conclusion fast and effectively, but also seeing what everyone else thought about each one. This would also make it so we could have great conversations about it and learn different perspectives. Now we will be hearing from Anna.
Thank you, Ronan. I'm Anna. I'm in 8th grade at St. Thomas More, and I'm going to tell you about one of the hardest parts of this whole process. So all of these organizations are incredible, and they're all amazing. And we wanted to give grants to all of them, but it was really hard having to rate the lower ones, and especially when you really liked one and you had to rate it lower or eliminate it. It was really hard to do, and it was almost impossible to only pick 2 of them. In the process, it really forces you to be super critical about them, because otherwise you'd give them all A+ and give them all the money, which you can't do. And so an example of this is one that we really liked was Rose City Rollers, and we had to debate with that one, and it didn't end up getting any money, but we really liked that one, so it was really hard to just, eliminate it. And so, and it was really hard to choose ones that made everyone happy, and we practiced that with an example of making a dinner that everyone could eat and enjoy, and everyone had their own special needs and wants, and so we practiced it that way. And a lot of our decisions were really surprising when we talked about it as a group, because some of my favorite ones were like at the bottom and some of my least favorite ones were at the top. It was really surprising talking about them as a group, just seeing everyone's perspectives and seeing what everyone liked. So thank you. I'm going to pass on to Maya.
Thank you, Anna, Ronan, and Adrian. Next, we're going to be kind of talking about the 2 nonprofits that we chose to fund. So first off, we're going to hear from Griffin and Max talking about Special Hoop Camp.
Thank you, Maya. My name is Griffin Chandler. I go to the Madison School, and I'm in 7th grade. And the YGI made the decision to fund the Special Hoops Camp in the Atlanta Mujeres. And for the Special Hoop Camp, we are recommending funding them because they help kids in need with a wide range of special needs and serve kids who typically don't get served. The Special Hoop Camp serves people with a wide range of development delays like autism and Down syndrome. Many of the athletes/participants are struggling with low budgets and a low and small range of sports activities. Special Hoop Camp is made of volunteers and workers who do not get paid. The volunteers help the athletes and support and encourage them to keep a smile on their faces. Special Hoop Camp gets their funding from grants, including this one, and from donations. We are funding $2,500 to Special Hoop Camp to cover jerseys, meals and drinks, event insurance, transportation, facility rentals, and participation t-shirts. And I have 2 additional fun facts. 1, their oldest athlete was 73 years old, and 2, the organization has been going on for roughly 25 years.
Hi, my name is Max. I'm in 7th grade and I go to Catlin Gable. Special Hoop Camp is about special needs kids that don't get served as much as others. They have 1 to 3 day camps with 4 to 6 hours of game time. I think this fits the roles of YGI because it talks about serving a minority and allowing people of all ages to have physical participation through basketball and football, which fits perfectly with YGI's goals. It reaches out to families through schools and organizations to help more people know about Special Hoop Camp and what they do for the community. Here are some fun facts. It started in 1994. Over 30,000 volunteer hours have been logged since 1994. Many of their athletes have won gold medals in Special Olympic participation. One of their special needs athletes had the ability to dunk a basketball. Back to you, Maya.
Thank you, Max and Griffin. And lastly, we will be hearing from Arinze, Aston, and Eliza talking about Adelante Mujeres.
Good afternoon. My name is Aston Selly, and I am in 8th grade at Riverdale Grade School. I will talk about who we are recommending to fund. We're recommending to fund the nonprofit organization Adelante Mujeres. Adelante Mujeres wants to create opportunities for young Latin American women, and we think that it is a good organization. Adelante Mujeres supports kids that are hanging out in the wrong crowd. One opportunity they provide is soccer, where young girls can connect socially and increase their athletic skills. There are usually only men playing soccer in Spanish-speaking cultures, so the opportunity isn't given to women. So this foundation helps empower them. It checks off all of the criteria for a good nonprofit organization, such as enhancing athletic participation, building team values and leadership, valuing and supporting diversity, and lastly, serving those who wouldn't normally be served. This all leads to the final prompt, which is it a good use of money? And the answer is yes. Adelante Mujeres is the best organization because it fills out more prompts than any other organizations that applied for a grant.
Good evening, board. My name is Arinze McGee. I go to Mount Tabor Middle School and I'm in the 8th grade. I was assigned the task to tell you guys what the amount that we will be donating to, that we hope to donate to Adelante Mujeres. Throughout the process, like many of the other members of the cohort have said, we've learned how to compromise so much. Initially, we felt like we would apply 5,000 to one organization, but through our voting process in one of our last meetings, we found out that it would just be best that everybody felt like these two programs, Adelante Mujeres and Special Hoop Camp, were the two best clear cut, that we should try to divide it. So we are asking for us to have the opportunity to donate $2,500 to Adelante Mujeres.
Hi, my name is Eliza Simons. I'm in 8th grade and I go to Northwest Academy. Today I'll be talking about why we chose Adelante Mujeres. Adelante Mujeres provides education, empowerment, and opportunities to low-income Latina women and their families to ensure full participation in athletics and leadership. This organization caught our eyes with its diversity and work ethic for a more empowering society of Latina leaders. Since Adelante Mujeres means women rise up, it is significant that women can be capable of anything and do more than what's imaginable. This organization shows outstanding work from the community since it serves over 10,000 people every year. They have 10 programs focusing in the areas of education, leadership training, and enterprise. The Early Childhood Program has 7 bilingual classrooms for necessary success in school, and the Youth Program partners with more than 700 local families each year to ensure service opportunities in programming. Adelante Mujeres reflects on moments of good for Latina women, which is why we feel as though they are deserving of our donation. Thank you, and back to you, Maya.
Thank you, Arinze, Aston, and Eliza. That was a wonderful presentation from everybody. And now I'm going to hand it back to Lisa.
Terrific, and thank you, Maya. Well, I know that each and every one of you that are listening have the same pride in this really incredible job that that all of these folks have done in the last couple minutes, but it really goes back to the work that they've been doing since September, and showing up and doing their homework and engaging with one another and asking questions and also having a little bit of fun along the way. So I want to thank each and every one of you, because the cohort is only as cool and as absorbed and as interesting and as educational as you guys bring your energy to it. So thank you to each and every one of you. It has been an absolute pleasure to get to know you over the last couple of weeks. And thank you also to those of you as parents and guardians out there, because I know that you, between us being in person and then being on Zoom and then not, it takes a lot of coordination to make all of this work around all of the activities that your family and your amazing young people are engaged with. So thank you for not only sharing them with us on Sundays, but thank you for helping them get to point A to point B. We really do appreciate that. The board members of the Multnomah Athletic Foundation, for those of you who are listening, thank you as well. It's always important to make sure that the board and the organization support this sort of work, and they're the ones who make sure that we have a $5,000 available for this particular group to be able to recommend. We also have some of our nonprofit partners listening, and we thank you guys as well, because you're the ones who do the hard work. We might be able to wrestle with decisions of funding, but you're the ones who invest the time and the energy and the space of being able to really allow kids to be active in our community. So thank you to each and every one of you. So what I'd like to do right now is I would like you to be able to, for those of you that are listening as attendees, we are going to, Emily is going to show all the screens so that we can see each and every one of these amazing people. And what we'd like you guys to do is go ahead and sit up straight for a second, and there you go. Make sure you're in the center of your screen. Emily is going to share all of your faces with the family and friends and audience that is watching. And what I'd like them to do is to take the moment and to light up the Q&A. Put in a note or a comment or a thought or a suggestion, something that you can, if you want to be able to say something to this incredible group of people, you can certainly do so. If you can find your keyboard and put something in, they can see the information that's going to come. So as they're doing that, and as we're doing a little shout out and a celebration here, I want to tell this incredible cohort, I want to tell you a couple things, because guess what? Rose City Rollers did get funded. Yay, right? Yay. I know that that was number 3, and for some of you, it was a super important one to get funded. And the important thing is the adult team, which was also looking at the same grant application, and the adult team was looking at having a $50,000 pile versus 5. They actually did fund Rose City Rollers. So you guys can feel really proud of the fact that it was so close and you trusted the other team, and they also got the funding taken care of. So that's a pretty cool part. We will be sharing all the other funding on our social media in the next couple of days, so you can see all the organizations, as well as you and the audience can see it as well as we go. So with that, we're going to stay on for just a couple more minutes. Take a look at that chat and that chat down there. There are some really lovely comments that are popping in there. I hope you guys can see them. All of you cohort members can see what your family and friends are saying, as well as our board members and alumni, but keeping those good wishes flying through there. So as they do so, let me just pause. I'll let them read as they're sitting up straight and hoping this is coming to an end. For those of you who are listening, let me just complete with the fact that the Multnomah Athletic Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that really exists to increase access to participation in athletics and education for young people. And that is what we do. And we focus primarily on underserved communities and communities that are historically marginalized. And it's super important to have the voice of all these amazing people helping us make those decisions. So if you're an alumni, we would love to hear from you as we go into the next opportunity. For this group, they'll officially be alumni on December 12th when we do the giant check presentation. And as we move into having all of you involved, hopefully next year, that would be awesome. We'll get together. And for those of you listening that have somebody who's going to be a 7th or an 8th grader this fall, we will open applications in April and May for the next cohort. And for any of you who wish to, in your December giving, would like to support YGI, you can certainly find the ability to donate and support the funding pool on our website, multnomaathleticfoundation.com. Other than that, okay, I think we've got most of those really awesome things down there. Can you guys see all of these? Yeah, you can see all of them. You guys are feeling the love, because you should take a huge amount of pride into the work that you put into this. You guys could have taken the easy way out and not shown up every Sunday from 3:30 to 4:30 and 5 to do the work and to do the homework, and you wrestled through it. And I can't tell you how proud I am of each and every one of you. But also thank you for sharing your insight and for your energy. So with that, I think we have most of the comments, and that brings us to about the end of the presentation. So for those of you family and friends, if you're in the house with these incredible people, we're going to keep them for 10 more minutes because we're going to allow them to talk to each other before it's done. So stay on, or in essence, stay out of the room for just a couple more seconds. We need them for a few more, and then you guys can celebrate in person. But for those of you who are in the audience, have a fantastic holiday season. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.